I thought it would be fun to share some layouts with you using florals and Cricut Cuts. Hi, I'm Katie Taylor at scrappinkaty.com, where I show you how to preserve your family's memories through the art of scrapbooking. I am going to do a layout share. I haven't done one in a while, and this weekend is super busy. So I decided to do some of the layouts that I have laid out to journal on and go ahead and put in their albums, since I ordered several albums and those are in now, as well as the memory protector. So now is a perfect time to do that. And of course, before journaling, I like to show those online, and I don't like to show them again after my journaling. If you're new here, I just usually include some sensitive information on there, some details that I don't want really out there. And then I also kind of, either hide my journaling or do something like that to kind of help with the aesthetic of the layout. So this stack is actually separated into florals and Cricut layouts. And these probably span over the last year or so. For the majority of these, I have a process video, but some I do not. So I thought it would be fun. I have a lot of new subscribers here, so you can kind of see what you can expect from this channel going forward. So I'm going to clear the stack off and bring them in one by one. So the majority of these layouts, I forgot to mention, are one-page layouts, but I do have a stack of two-page layouts that I'll be doing at a later date. So I don't only do one-page layouts, just sometimes they're easier that way. This is a layout using a kit that I went through. It's an older kit, but I had watched a video of making kits and adding photos. And so I did a month where I basically did that. I made a whole bunch of kits, and this is one of the layouts that came of that. I also, on this layout, used a lot of thread. So you see my thread jumbles, which I use often here. And then I actually did actual stitching over here to secure these little pieces right here. And then, of course, I'll do my journaling over there. Another one-page layout. If you can't tell, this is the floral stack. This is also a really old collection, and I loved that. Can you see that glitter on the center of these flowers? And then I also used some old felt shapes from my stash, as well as some irresistibles. And then you've got glitter on there. So this layout basically was showing you how to use things from your stash and kind of make them. These are different collections, so kind of make them make them look cohesive. So that is that one. And then here are also the irresistible chipboard pieces. Now, we don't have the chipboard pieces anymore, but we do have alphabet and papers on that. So my next layout could be Cricut / floral. And this is a shaker layout. You can see all of those little bits and pieces that are shaking in that one arch or arc of the rainbow. And then, of course, this used the Sawyer digital collection. So you've got that title there. And then also some stamping and some embellishments. I do have a video for this one. I'm going to try and make a playlist where if you want to just kind of hop on over to the layouts showcased in this video, then it'll be really easy for you to watch those how-tos. So I loved using one of the Snapchat filters on our daughter. And then I just love that it's shaker. And I've mentioned before, shakers are kind of weird in scrapbook albums, because it's not like a card where you can just, shake it, or like I'm shaking it here. You really can't do that in a layout, but it's still a fun little twist to a layout. This next layout is using the same collection, but documenting my sister. So that is my older sister. And then again, just some of the stickers that were in this collection. I used some shimmer trim right there, and then did some ink distressing all around the edge of that layout. This next one is a layout of me and my daddy at my wedding. And then you've got the florals, you've got the torn paper. This is a really, really old paper. I actually stocked up on this to do our wedding album. And then I've got some ink splatters. And then, you know, our cardstock is on sale right now. It's got that white core. And so this is that cardstock scored around the edge and sanded. And I have a more recent video of that. And again, I think I might have a video of this one too, so I'll share that. The next layout is of me sorting all my stamps to get ready to, something came off. Sorting all my stamps to get ready to catalog them into my OneNote organizational file. This one was fun because of all the bright colors, because of the florals. And then I just loved, I think I used a sketch. And I loved my title is stamped on there. And then I took some hearts and I added some shimmer brush, some black shimmer brush to those hearts. And as well as to the centers of those flowers, if you can see that. And then I also splattered that black shimmer brush. I do that often around here. Still got to find out where that went. This is another floral one documenting Mother's Day years and years ago. And this whole piece right here is actually random stamped. So that is not paper. That's random stamped. And then I tore a strip and put it up here and a strip and put it down there. And then, of course, I have some more stamps around the photo. And then all of that black splatter. And then I stamped my title directly onto the layout. Here is another floral layout. This is featuring my grandmother, which looks a whole lot like my mom. And I get, if people know me from my mother's side, I definitely get that I look like her. And I love this collection. This collection was probably one of the very first that totally sold out with Close to My Heart. You can see why. It's just so pretty. Those are all stamped and thin cut images. All of these, even these butterflies. And then this is the pre-printed paper. I did try to add some shimmer brush to that light bulb right there. It's just a subtle hint. And then, of course, stamped directly onto my layout. And that light bulb has another little shimmer, as well as me highlighting that word. And I like to do that with our shimmer brushes often. And then I love just the sprinkling of the black dots as well as the black thread tucked in behind all of those floral pieces. Believe it or not, this uses the same paper collection. You can notice the diagonal stripes there, but this actually goes a whole different direction, if you will. And it's actually using the same flowers. So can you see that there? Those are the same flowers and butterflies. But you can see it's a totally different look. This is another layout documenting Mother's Day. And I did use a sketch for this. And I believe I do have a process video on this one. So I showed you how to use just normal everyday things around your house to freehand a circle. Not sure if you can see that, but that's just freehanded with some pen. This is some gloss spray, some white gloss spray. And then I often show my little doodles. And so these are some of my heartstrings that are often drawn or tied in between a couple of lines. And then you definitely can see that gloss spray on those floral pieces. And then this was a stamp set that I just stamped on some pattern paper. This layout is probably one of my most popular layouts. It is a shaker layout as well. Huge. And it does use these big, huge sunflower pieces as well as some thin cuts of these delicate pieces. And then you can see also some wood. So I basically talked about repeating those layers. So you've got your thin cuts made out of cardstock, then you've got more of the same type of image in your wood, and then you've got your sticker pop dotted up. You can see there, just super cute. This is one of my favorite layouts. And then another real popular one was this one. Now this was Mother's Day several years ago. And this paper collection, I want to say was still available. I'll have to check to make sure. But you've got all of these die cuts. They're kind of like a paper board or a craft. And then you've got these gorgeous, gorgeous die cuts and stickers. And then that's a die cut too from a doily thin cut. And then I did color the centers of those floral pieces with some shimmer brush. And this is the one where I showed you, it's not a new thing at all, but where to use wax paper, not wax paper. What is this? Press and seal. Where you use press and seal to get all of your items down the way you want them. And then you just turn your press and seal over on them and press it down. And then when you peel this away, that whole thing will come up with your press and seal. And that's going to allow you to add adhesive to the back of that. And then put it down exactly the way you kind of roughed it out. So there is that one. This next one is also a floral layout. And I showed layers as well. So you've got stenciling directly onto the layout base. And then you've got some stamped images that are cut out. And repeat that process down here. And kind of did some bullet journaling. And then some paper tearing around the edges to show a zip strip or paper behind. And I do that often as well. But you can see just how much dimension all of those little things add. Love, love, love that one. And then this one was also a very, very popular one. So these are all stencils over here. These little dots are stencils as well. And then I've got some stickers and then some splatter and some gold glitter gems. And then these lines I actually hand drew with a marker. And then you'll see some of my doodle dots right there. And then this is my mom and our middle son dancing. Absolutely love that. This is one of my favorite layouts. And I believe, I'm almost positive that I have a process video for this one as well. And then this one, I'm not sure I have a process video for, but it is some more of florals. So you can see the florals here, as well as the thin cut butterflies. I did color those with clear shimmer brush, as well as the flowers there. And then for the most part, this entire page was pre-printed like this. I did come back in with a little bitty stamp and added those little dots all around these little clusters. And then you can see those butterfly sequins. So loved that one. And then the last one that's set out to be floral instead of Cricut is this one. And this is another one of my favorite ones. Just so many layers going on here. So you've got the triangles, and those are hand stitched. You can see there, they are hand stitched. I've even got some corner elements, hand stitched, not hand stitched, machine stitched. So down here, and then of course those same butterflies with clear shimmer brush everywhere. And then I've got stamping directly on my layout, and then some thin cuts, and then some stamps. And it just creates all of those layers. And then of course my title here, and that's fussy cut out. And I really, really like this little circle. And then of course I brought the circle up there, but this one stands out a little bit more. And now we are getting into the Cricut Cuts. There aren't a whole lot of these, so we're almost done. But this used one of our digital files. So I created this big overlay, and then I used some of our holographic paper. You can see there, and then the centers to some of those. And then I also used liquid glass and some loose glitter gems. Here are those loose glitter gems. And just piled on that liquid glass, and then piled on those glitter gems for those flower centers. And then of course I have a flip flap that has some journaling as well as some additional photos. My second Cricut layout is one of my daddy. And so I created this overlay right here. Now this background piece is pre-printed like that. And then I have kind of my journaling in 3 little squares over here. And I did add some metal from my stash. So if you'll remember eyelets and brads and these little photo hangers, I did add that. And then I did some stenciling. And there is my daddy. And then I've got some tags there. And then, of course, this little tag right here. And then he loved him some Dallas Cowboys. You can see that there. So I tried to mimic that with that star. And this sweet little puppy layout is also from a Cricut. So a lot of times over here on this channel, you'll see me do something for one project and then save either the remnants or the scraps for another one. And that's what happened here. Was I cut these hearts from this brown glitter paper. Love that glitter paper. I cut them from the Cricut, and then I saw that this was left over, and I was like, I have to use that for something. Now, granted, it might have sat there, you know, for a month or so before I decided what to use it on, but that is what I decided to use that on. And then this is also part of a collab that I did with some close to my heart makers called Twisted Sisters. And so we take a stamp set or a product from the Close to My Heart catalog and we twist it in a different way. And so these actually, I made this puppy from a drink set, you know, like martini glasses, stuff like that. And I do have a process video for this, so you'll see it linked in the playlist below. But that is our little cute dog. He is a poodle, but we knew we wanted to keep him with curls. So he was like this, and then we realized that that's just kind of getting too many curls. So we went to get him cut, and it was brand new. We now since used the same person for 5 years, and so she knows that we don't want him poodle cut, but she cut him all the way down. So poor little baby went from looking like this to this. But now he's just so much better. And then, of course, I made little paw prints. I believe those are the olives from the drink. But you'll need to go check this video out because I twisted several things on this. And so then I have this layout. Now, this layout was published in one of the Scrapbooking Cards magazines. I believe it was last fall. And you got a lot of stuff going on here. And I do have a process video for this, so you'll want to go check it out. But I have some cardstock that was crumpled. I have some that's edged with some gloss spray. Of course, I have the stamps and the splatter. And then it has this Cricut Cut Hello. And the reason I pulled this one is because this layout, months and months and months and months later, I used that Hello Cricut Cut. You know, remember I told you that I kind of save my stuff and use it later. So I used the piece of cardstock that Hello was cut from. I used it as a stencil for this. And so I actually had both of them. And so I had the outline that I inked up, and then I had the center that I inked up in a darker color. So you can see that layer. So that is stenciled on there. And then I also used the negative space of these sunglasses and backed them with paper. And then I just love her just fun demeanor in this. And then, of course, able to use bright colors for this one. And then something about that chopped off circle at the left. Really, really like it. So we're almost done. We've got 2 more layouts. This one is a 1-page layout using Tutti Frutti, I think this one is, the Tutti Frutti digital collection. And so all you do is you purchase the collection and then you upload it to or you download it to your computer and then upload it to your cutting software. So I use a Cricut, and I was able to cut this layout, even that overlay right there. And then I've got some shimmer brush on pieces of these little leaves and this ice cream. Just absolutely love that little layout. And then for my final layout, it is a 2-page layout. So for all you 2-page people, here you go. I'm going to see if I can get it all on frame. Yes, I can. So we've got this one, and basically the Cricut comes from this overlay right here. This is a layout that we celebrated Jama hitting 10,000 subscribers. And so I basically copied one of her layouts, and we're about to do that for Chelsea. Chelsea has also hit 10,000 subscribers. So I did this one and I copied her layout and made it a 2-page layout. And then I've got the Cricut cut over here with the little kind of notebook paper. I meant for it to kind of be like a recipe. I know my grandmother didn't have recipe cards. She had like a recipe notebook. And then I've got stickers, and then of course brought in kind of an organic feel with the wooden hearts and the wooden title. And then I decided to do strip journaling for these. So I just love that one. And that is it as far as my layout share goes. Again, I will try to create a playlist showing the process videos that I have for any of these. You're welcome to click on that playlist and go watch these if you want some more in-depth instruction. And that is it. Thank you so much. And I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful Easter weekend. Thanks for watching.